Well, hello everybody, and we'll let other people come in if they want to. But welcome to Virtual Kids Create. My name is Diane Brandt, and I'm a children's programmer here. But I think I've seen both of you guys in lots of our Virtual Kids programs, so that's awesome. Today we are doing chalk art fun. So hopefully you've had a chance to pick up a supply bag. And so we're going to just open that up and pull out what we have in there. And then that'll also let other people know if they didn't get their bag, what they need, okay? The first thing you might pull out, it's a pretty large bag. This is Plaster of Paris. It's a powder. And that's what we're going to use to make the chalk, the sidewalk chalk. There's about a cup in here. So for each piece of chalk, we would use about a fourth cup of plaster of Paris. And so we'll set that aside. And then there should be some paint, little paint cups in your bag, and you'll put that with your plaster of Paris. Let's see. What else? So there are some paper cupcake liners that we will put into a tin. So if you have that at home, just like a cupcake tin to set it in, or if you have any silicone molds or these are actually ice cube tray molds, you can use that to make your chalk. But if you don't have a muffin tin, you can just set it on a paper plate or something. It's just to give it a little bit more stability when we put our chalk in there. Okay. And then you're also going to need some water. I have about a cup of water in here. A water and a 1/4 cup measuring cup. Or if you have just a cup measuring cup, that's fine. We're going to need a 1/4 cup so we can measure that out. So if you have somebody helping you there, maybe you could ask them if they could get some water and a plate or something. Hi Kelly. All right, so you're going to have a piece of black paper, some sidewalk or some chalk, colored chalk. Set that aside. Some stencil paper. And then you'll have some little circles. So you should have 3, a 6-inch, a 4-inch, and a 2-inch, some little circles. That will go with our black paper and chalk. So if you're making little piles, you can set that aside. We'll do that next. And I think inside there's also a stirrer. So you can use anything. You could use a plastic spoon that you're willing to throw away, craft stick that you can throw away. If you use a regular spoon, it's fine. You just want to wash it right away because the plaster of Paris will harden in your bowl or cup. And so it's just going to make it harder to wash. Okay. So we are pretty much ready. So the first thing I wanted to show you is your stencils I gave you. So we are going to be doing some sidewalk chalk today, and today is a beautiful day outside, and it made me think about getting outside and playing in the warm weather and using our chalk. So you should have a piece of paper, or 2 pieces of paper that look like this. They have a sun and an ice cream cone, and what else? A balloon. And then this could be a rainbow stencil, or you can turn it upside down and make it a watermelon. So you should have about 4 stencils there, and I'm going to show you the 2 ways you can do it. You can take your scissors and just cut out the shapes like this, like I have here. And then you lay it down on the sidewalk or your chalkboard So let's pretend we're outside and this is this chalkboard, and then just trace around the side of it, the outside, like that's what a stencil is. You just trace around it like that. And then you have your shape, your balloon. Oh, sorry. And then you can color it in or make wigglies, however you like. So that is one way you can use your stencils. I like to do the balloon and make a whole bunch of balloons on the sidewalk, maybe 3 or 4, and then draw a line with chalk and make a big bouquet. The other way that you can use your stencils outside, so there's that. The other way you can use your stencils is to cut them out from the inside. I used an X-Acto knife for this, but those are very, very sharp, so you would want to use probably some adult help for that if you use an X-Acto knife. Or you can kind of bend your picture in half and make a cut right there in the middle. Let's see, right there. And then open it up and cut out. So the reason you might do that is, well, I don't know. Just a preference, I guess. But if you did it that way, then all you need to do is trace on the inside of your stencil, and that creates your picture on the sidewalk there. Okay? So either way, just added that for a little bit of fun so you can get outside right away and use your chalk that we're going to be making. This is what my chalk looked like. It's not super, super pretty just yet, but it works. And, oops, there we go. And I made that in the cupcake, pan. Okay. All right. So the first thing I think we should do is start our craft. So if you have your black paper, get your black paper out. And then you want to get your stencils out, your circles. And we are going to be making something that looks like this. This is what I made. There we go. It's going to be bubbles. And so we have a large and a small, a medium and a small. And then I also made a jellyfish out of it. So you could do that too. Just draw a straight line across here, middle of the page, and then a half circle, and fill it in with different colors. Okay, so you have different colored chalk to make our bubble craft. First thing I did was lay down my large circle. So you can kind of figure out where you want it to be or what you like. And I laid down my circle and I took a piece of, actually I used white chalk. You should have some white, but you can also use colored chalk. And then I just traced around it like that. And then you can also overlap them, which means I'm not going to make, 2 spots for them. I'm going to set it on top of part of that bubble. Because sometimes when we're blowing bubbles, we'll get one inside of another bubble, remember? And sometimes we'll get lots of bubbles all clumped together. So that's what we kind of want to make it look like. So I'm going to draw a circle around here. But I'm going to stop right there at the edge of this bubble. So it looks like it's behind it. Okay? And then you can take your other bubbles, your smaller ones. I would maybe suggest putting some bubbles on the edge of your paper, maybe half off of your paper, so they're off of the picture, kind of out of the picture here. It looks like they're just floating into the picture, kind of like that. for just a little bit of variety and interest. Okay, so draw your circles however you like, however many you want, and then we're going to color them and add some shading to make the beautiful colors. Right. So you can continue to draw. I'm just going to show you how I did the shading, and you just continue to draw, and actually we have a story while you're working, so no hurry, okay? So take your color chalk, and we're just going to go on the outside of the bubble, probably about like that, a fourth of it. And we're going to turn it on its side, flat on the table, and just rub. Gives it a softer look. And so you want it to be kind of dark on the outside here, and then softer as it gets inside. And just make a little curve, like the letter C. C for Callie, huh? All right. And so you want to mix some colors together, maybe some colors that complement each other. Yellow and green would look nice together. It depends on what you have. I think I only gave you three colors, so work with what you have. And just kind of make it all different. Maybe just a little bit in here. And then that just kind of shows a little bit of depth and texture to our bubbles. And then you can take your fingers, if you don't mind getting messy, or you can use a Q-tip or a napkin if you do. Take your fingers and kind of blend it together. So if I had two colors here, let's say pink and purple, and I wanted to blend them together to make kind of a transition, make it nice and smooth, just take your two fingers and rub it together like that. It just makes it look a little softer. Right? See? Messy. All right. You can continue to work on that if you like while I tell you the story of the case. It's a mystery, actually. It's the case of the missing chalk drawings. All right. I'm going to put it right here. This is the case of the missing chalk drawings by Richard Byrne. And he has some other really good books called This Book Ate My Dog, and This Book is Out of Control. Those are great. The Case of the Missing Chalk Drawings by Richard Byrne. The chalks were having fun drawing flowers when Mrs. Red called them in for lunchtime. But when the chalks came back from lunch, they were surprised to find all of the flowers were gone. Oh my gosh, they've been erased. The chalks started a new drawing, lots more flowers, but this time Mrs. Red also made a big red fence. That should keep the flowers safe while we go inside for a story, she said. But it didn't. After story time, the flowers were gone, and so was the fence. Someone is stealing our drawings. Sergeant Blue arrived to investigate. And he quickly noted some important evidence. It looks like the culprit is this tall and very dusty. Look at that. He left behind lots of red dust. So Sergeant Blue rounded up some suspicious-looking characters. Too thin, too small, too pointy, too tall, too hairy. This guy fits the bill right in there. Turn around, please. He's got a dusty red bottom. I think we discovered uh-oh. I think we figured it out. Case closed. But before Sergeant Blue could put the culprit in prison, the robber fled in a cloud of dust. The Chalks chased the robber, but they couldn't catch him. The Chalks were stumped. What could they do? Fortunately, Sergeant Blue had a plan. When the robber came across this new drawing, he could not resist. "Ooh, rainbow, here I come," he said. But did you guys notice something? I see some eyes right there. The Chalks suddenly leapt out from their hiding places. "Robber, caught you!" The chalkboard racer felt wrongly accused. "I'm not a robber, I'm an eraser. You draw stuff and I erase it. Then you draw more stuff." The Chalks felt very guilty. They'd made a terrible mistake. He's actually helping them. Sergeant Blue knew how to make things right. They could all chase the eraser again, but this time just for fun, like a race course. Yeah. Oh, and he won first place. All right. Does anybody have any pictures they want to show us? You don't have to, but. Oh, we're probably still working on it, and that's fine. I am going to move to the next thing, though, just for time. But you are more than welcome to keep working on those. You could even turn your paper over and do another drawing like that, or do the jellyfish. But we're going to go ahead and start on our making our sidewalk, our very own sidewalk chalk. Now, we will not be able to use this sidewalk chalk for a little bit because it takes about 24 hours for it to dry. So maybe by tomorrow afternoon after school. I figured mine actually came out and was dry within 12 hours. And I put it outside and it was pretty cold even. So you guys, yours might be dry by morning. But who has time to do chalks in the morning, huh? Okay, so the first thing you want to do is get like a cup or a bowl. I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you that. You need a cup or a bowl. If you have a plastic cup that you don't care about, or you could throw away, that's ideal. This is a glass bowl. If you use a bowl like this, make sure you wash it after we're done here, because it'll get harder to wash later. Okay. All right, so take your cup or your bowl. We're going to put 1/4 of a cup of Plaster of Paris inside here. Oh, thank you for reminding me, Mrs. Wadigan. I did say that if you can, that you might want to put on a mask while you're using this this powder, this Plaster of Paris, and mixing it up, just because if you breathe that in, it might bother you. If you don't, it's not going to hurt you. If you don't have one, it's fine. So I'm going to pop one on real quick. Also, it could be a little messy, but it's just powder. You can clean it up. I hope I don't mess up the studio. Okay, 1/4 a cup of Plaster of Paris into our bowl. See, I'm already a mess. And then 1/8 of a cup of water. That's about half of this. This is a 1/4 cup measuring cup, so about half of that. And once you pour that in there, you're going to want to stir it up, start stirring it up. Okay. So I'm using my craft stick and just starting to stir it up a little bit. Now it looks like it's going to need a little bit more water. It's already pretty thick there. So just add a little bit of water, maybe a tablespoon at a time. And then we're going to add our paint. I believe it says 1 tablespoon on there. Now, the more paint that you add, the more colorful it will be. But the more paint that you add, the longer it takes to dry, because it's just going to be a wetter thing. So I'm going to just maybe do half of this. In your cup that I gave you, your cup of paint, I think there's enough for 2 in there. So maybe half of that cup is all you need. Right. And it should start to turn into kind of a little bit of a doughy mixture. If it's too wet, you probably could add a little bit of Plaster of Paris. There is 1 cup of Plaster of Paris in your bag that you were given, so you should be able to do 4 different colors if you chose to, or 4 pieces of chalk. All right, you should be okay to take your masks off now once it has water in there. All right, as soon as you stir that up, it's going to be a nice kind of a thick mixture, and you put that into your cupcake liner, your muffin liner, and your muffin tin. And that's all you need to do. You can use a piece of parchment paper or wax paper and just rip off a little piece and put that inside the bottom here, the bottom of your cupcake liner. It might just make it a little easier to peel that off. That's all. All right, so all we're going to do is take our mixture and put it inside the cupcake liner, and then make sure that it's smooth. Or if you're using a mold like this, you can tamp it down a little bit, like that, and make sure it's nice and smooth so that you don't have any air bubbles in it. I'm going to put it in here so you can see better. And you can smooth that over with your craft stick, or you can use your fingers. Might just want to wash those off real fast. Wipe it off real fast. Okay. There you go. And it should just look like that, and it will stay like that until it dries. And again, it will probably take about 12 hours for it to dry. If you're putting it in your muffin tin, you can do that. And so for every color or every shape that you want to make, it will take 1/4 cup plaster of Paris, 1/8 cup of water, and about a teaspoon of acrylic paint or tempera paint. We are using acrylic paint today. That's the kind that you can just get at any craft store, Walmart, or whatever. Okay. And then you can use the same bowl and mix up another color if you like, or okay, I think I gave you enough to make 4 different pieces of chalk about this size. Okay, and you can make different colors if you like. And then this particular one I just took out of, after it dried, I just took it out, popped it out of the liner. And this one has a little piece of that parchment paper I talked about, the wax paper. I thought would make it easier. Yeah. Of course not. Okay. Look at this. And then this is kind of rough there, but you could always shave that down a little bit with a knife or something, your fingers. Or you could just grab it and use it. How are we doing? Does anybody have questions? I talked really fast. We're good? Got some chalk? Oh, I see yours. And you're making a heart-shaped one. That's awesome. How are you doing, Kiera? Okay? Oh, I love the heart. That's awesome. Yeah. I found these at Walmart, I think. They're just little tulips. They're ice cube trays. You can get those at the dollar store or Walmart. All right. Well, while you're still working, since we only have a few minutes left, I'm going to show you a couple things real fast. But go ahead and keep working. This is a book I got upstairs at our Massillon Public Library. It's called Sidewalk Canvas, and it's really cool three-dimensional art that can be done on sidewalks and pavements that kind of make it look like you are falling into a lake or something like that. Very impressive. And this is beyond what Mrs. Brandt can show you, but you could check this out just for inspiration. And then I found this, and I think we could do this. If you can see that. She just made a Easter egg, since Easter's coming up, and some bunny ears here, and then laid down on top of the bunny ears and had someone take a picture of her from overhead. So we could do stuff like that. And then I just wanted to tell you that next month, our May Virtual Kids Create is can I show it this way or please, thank you. Is thumbprint pot painting. And I brought that with me. So you'll get a pot and some soil and, some soil and seeds, and then we're just going to paint with our thumbprints and our fingerprints. This one I made is a caterpillar, so I thought we'd make some flowers, caterpillars, bees, and butterflies by using your thumbprints or your other fingers, so that we can have some little flowers for gardening. And that's next month, but you can start signing up for that in next Monday. Yes. Did you have a question or you just waving hi? Hi. It's always nice to see you. Well, all right. Oh, look at you. All right. Well, if everybody's doing okay, I hope that your chalk turns out great. I hope you have some fun and enjoy this weekend, okay? All right. I'll see you later. Bye, guys.